Olympic medals as well. So without further ado, we're just gonna begin. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna ask one question per athlete, then we'll open it up to the floor for any questioning that you may have. So we're gonna start at the opposite end of the table with Monique Sullivan from Calgary, Alberta. Monique was 6th at the Olympics in London in the carrying, multiple Pan American Championship gold medalist, and she's going to be competing in the sprint, team sprint, and carrying, I believe. So, Monique, how do you feel about competing at home here, having won multiple Pan Am champs in the past, competing at home in front of your fans? That must be sweet.
Oh, it's an incredible opportunity, and I know we're all just really excited to have a velodrome at home and to be competing at home. For most of us, this is the first time to wear the maple leaf in an international competition here at home, so it's really special for us, and really proud for the opportunity to have 3 events to compete in.
Thank you very much. Kate O'Brien is sitting next to Monique. Kate is a bobsledder as well in the winter times, and she started track cycling about 12 months ago. And now she's competing worldwide, and her progression in track cycling is phenomenal. She also lives in Calgary and trains with Monique. So, Kate, your first major games on a bike. Tell us about your career so far on 2 wheels.
This is not only my first major games on a bike, it's my first major games, period, and it happens to be at home. It's a pretty incredible opportunity. I never expected this to happen. You know, potentially at all, never mind so quickly, so it's been really a great experience, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Kate, how did you manage the transition between the 2 sports? I know you still do a bit of bobsledding, but how do you manage the 2 sports and transitioning to your cycling career?
The transition was made pretty smooth by the 2 federations. They worked together really well. I kind of split time last year between the 2 World Cups, and this year I'll be focusing just purely on track cycling leading into Rio, so hopefully it'll be a good experience and will get us pretty far.
Thank you very much. Next to Kate is Alison Beveridge from Calgary, Alberta as well. Alison, you're part of the Women's Team Pursuit for this event here. Tell us about that program and the results that you've had in the past 5 years in that program. Tell us about the Women's Pursuit and how you fit in the team.
Well, it's pretty lucky to come into the team in a time where they were already pretty successful on an international stage, and I think, if I'm correct, that the team has a pretty long-standing history of World Cup podiums and consecutive world podiums, and as a team we've evolved and we really started to find our groove and work together, and it seems no matter who gets to the line, we can put in a strong showing, and we just hope to continue that here.
Thank you very much. Next to Alison is Kirsty Lay. Please note the spelling of Kirsty. It is not Christy, K-I-R-S-T-I. She grew up in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Now she lives in Montreal, Quebec. Former speed skater, long track, I believe. Long track speed skater, now turned cyclist. Kirsty, again, same question that Kate, your transition to cycling, and how did that happen?
Yeah, I was speed skating and I injured my ankle, and so I stopped sport, and then Cycling Canada approached me asking if I'd like to give it a shot, and they incorporated me into the team and helped me learn as quickly as possible to get up to speed with the strength of this team, so it's been good.
What are your expectations here in Toronto for these Pan Am Games?
Definitely we are going for gold. I believe that we can do it. We have a really strong team, and we've proven that we have depth, so we want to just go out there and lay a good race down.
Thank you. Next to Kirsty is Laura Brown. Laura Brown is no stranger to Pan American Games. She was part of the 2011 team that set the Pan Am record in Guadalajara, and she's been a veteran of the program since almost its inception. Laura, tell us about the last 4 years from Guadalajara to now, and the progress that the team has made in the Women's Team Pursuit.
Well, Guadalajara was so special. It was my first games for Team Pursuit for Canada, and we won gold, and it kind of, we had success leading up to Pan Am Games, and then since Pan Am Games it's just been up and up. The team went on to win Olympic bronze medal, Jasmine, and like Alison said, I think every international competition since then we've been on the podium. World Cup and World Championships. So very excited for these games.
Thank you very much. And being part of that team, you know, and having won all those World Championship medals, do you have any added pressure coming here in Toronto in front of your own fans?
Of course, but we thrive under pressure, and it's a good pressure. I mean, this is once in a lifetime to compete on home soil at this caliber competition, and we want to win. And so, you know, I say there's pressure, but it's positive, and we're going to thrive under it.
Thank you, Laura. Next to Laura is Jasmine Glaser from Coquitlam, British Columbia. Jasmine, you're part of the squad that won the Olympic bronze medal in the women's team pursuit, along with Jillian Carlton and Tara Whitten. Tell us about these three teammates you have beside you now that in this new Olympic cycle, the new team that you have. Tell us about the strengths of that team and how you see your team doing in Toronto.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, we had a completely different lineup at the London Olympics, and I think being able to bring new athletes into the program, not just, you know, Kirsty and Allison, but also our development squad, has been really a testament to the depth of our team and the depth of our program, not just in the team pursuit program, but also for Cycling Canada. You know, we've come here possibly with the biggest contingent I've ever raced as a part of, and that's really a testament to the support that cycling has gotten from the Canadian Olympic team and from On the Podium to help us develop, you know, all aspects of our track cycling team. And yeah, it's phenomenal to be here and be part of such a large team and amongst such a group of talented athletes, and, you know, hopefully we'll be able to show what we're capable of next week.
Jasmine, in Guadalajara, the distance was 3,000 meters for the women's team pursuit with 3 members. It's been up to 14 members for 4,000 meters. Does that change the dynamic a little bit, being a new distance, competing in the women's team pursuit?
I've definitely embraced the change as something that suits our team. You know, we have a lot of depth of cycling talent in Canada, so we've been able to, you know, add a 4th member to our team, and I think that's really shown, yeah, that we can go the full distance and, you know, the same distance as the men. So it's on a personal level, it's really satisfying to have that equality now in the event.
Thank you very much. Next to Jasmine is Craig Griffin, the women's endurance coach for Cycling Canada for the Canadian track cycling team. Craig, you have 4 very strong women beside you that's going to line up for Canada. Tell us about that team and tell us about what are your expectations for them here in Toronto.
Well, we have high expectations. The 4 ladies that are sitting up here have all proven themselves in international competition. We've all been through the ups and downs of competition, and we know what it's about. It's going to be tough. We have the Cubans, we have the US team are our main competitions, but really it's just another bike race for us. It's great that we can compete in front of home crowd. We don't get to do that very often, and I really think that will create something special for our athletes and give them a little bit of lift that we often don't get when we're competing abroad. So I'm excited. We've got great talent. We've got great camaraderie within our team. Yeah, we're just waiting for game day, as they say.
Craig, thanks to these Pan Am Games, Canada now has a world-class indoor covered velodrome. Tell us about what that means for Canadian cycling as a whole to have this facility right here in our backyard.
Yeah, we're really fortunate to have this. We would spend our winters in the US training on a track in a foreign country and never be able to train at home. And this facility, and I say facility, it's not just a velodrome, it's a facility that enables us to set up shop and have a home base that we use on a daily basis. So it's nice to not have to travel away and train in other countries. It allows us to really fine-tune what we do on a daily basis and have that infrastructure and support that allows the athletes to get the most out of their daily training.
Thank you very much. Next to Craig is Aaron Hartwell. Aaron is our the sprint coach for Canada. Started to work with us maybe less than about 2 years ago. And he started with a blank sheet and has built a sprint program right now that is rising very rapidly through the international ranking. Aaron, tell us about Monique and Kate sitting beside us and the work you've done with these 2 athletes preparing for Toronto.
Yeah, thanks, Guy. As you said, a year ago, we had no team. There was no women's team. And I had a great chance to meet with Monique back in Calgary a little over a year ago and someone enticed her back into the program. New opportunities, new facility, Rio coming up around the corner, and she's willingly come back, which is great to see. An incredible fourth place at this most recent World Championship, so even better than her 2012 performance at the Olympic Games, so again, seeing continued improvement. And then through our talent ID program called Pedal to the Metal, we were able to find Kate O'Brien in Calgary also, and bring a new athlete into this program, one that had not actually cycled before. So it's been interesting through, what's important about the sprint program is that we look to identify the appropriate athlete for sprint cycling for anaerobic sport. And that's where athletes like Kate and Monique come into play, is that they've been able to come into the sport and rise to the occasion. And most interesting with Kate is that a year ago she was riding 2 seconds slower for 200 meters than what she is now. So we've seen just such a rapid increase in her performance to where she's now truly a world-class athlete. So we do have great expectations for these gals coming up Pan Ams.
Perfect, thank you very much. I'll open the floor now if, from the floor if you have any questions. Please raise your hand. Our gracious volunteers will come and provide you with a microphone. I would ask that you announce who you work for and your name, and to whom the question is directed toward. So anybody that wants to, yeah, Dean Campbell, Dean.
Hello. This question is for Jasmine. Being a newcomer to the team in Guadalajara, you're now taking a bit of a different role this year. Can you talk a bit about what that role is in terms of leadership?
Sure. Guadalajara was actually my first international competition for Canada. So for me, it's sort of like coming full cycle on the national team. And definitely this time around, we have some newer or younger athletes on the team. And while we're all strong, definitely it's been fun to share kind of my experience on the team. And Laura as well has been on the program for 5 or 6 years now. So between the two of us, it's been kind of a new challenge to help the new athletes kind of grow into their own place on the team. And it's a new dynamic I think that we hadn't had before, and that's been a great new part of this team, I think.
Thank you, Jasmine. Any other question?
Yep.
Peter?
It's Pedal Magazine, and this is for Kate. You took Trexeltown by storm, and I'd like to hear a little bit about what you think of breaking a 20-plus year record that has stood a long time.
To be honest, it was kind of a shock to me that happened in T-Town. That was a couple of weeks ago, and so last year I came in, and it was sort of my first time really at a competition, and I rode my 200 in a 13.9, and this year I rode it in an 11.3. So it was kind of, to be honest, I just went into it kind of hoping that I did better than last year, and it allowed me, I think, in thinking that way, to focus on some of the more technical aspects that I needed to work on. And that track worked particularly well for me just because it was a bit less technical, considering it's an outdoor concrete track versus a 250 indoor. So I think it was a really good experience, something that I wasn't expecting, but it was good because it kind of lets me see maybe what could be to come.
I'm curious what the shorter track will be like for you. Do you think you'll have the same kind of result?
Sorry, what was that?
Can you speak on the microphone, please?
I'm just curious what you think the shorter track will be like, and if you expect the same result.
I mean, I can hope for it, but I think I have a lot of work to do on an indoor track. It is fairly different to ride. I actually had a bit of difficulty transitioning back from the outdoor track, so I think it'll come with time for sure. And things have certainly been looking up in training. They've been better than they have been previously, so hopefully it'll translate over. But I think with some more experience, it'll definitely get better.
Great, thanks.
Question from the floor? Yeah, okay. Ladies, can I just ask you to speak into the microphone if possible, so we can hear you best on the floor?
Hi, Mark Conley from CDC. This is for any of the team pursuers. Just how if you could answer just how the teamwork has come together over the past couple of years, those who've had experience together, and how much difference that makes in that sport.
Well, that's something we've been working on the past couple of years. We've had the honor to work with Roger Friesen, sports psychologist, and our team is closer than it's ever been, and it's faster than it's ever been. So I think it's very important to gel as a team. I mean, I love these girls like sisters, so. What else?
Any follow-up, Mr. Connolly?
Maybe for one of the other team pursuiters, just from a physical point of view, when you're on the track together, just that when you know each other, the familiarity, just how that lends itself to becoming better and better and improving as a team.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our strengths, and you know, Allie's our super sprinter, so she starts us out, and we know that she'll get us on pace, and we trust her for that. And you know, I think that we all have our role to play, and we know where that is in the race. And so going to the line, you know, looking across and seeing we're all hungry to do it, it's pretty inspiring to, you know, do your best for the team. And yeah, knowing each other inside out really helps.
Monique, what's it like having another strong sprinter on the team with you?
Oh, it's been a really special experience for me. I have been on the team for I've been racing for almost 15 years, and this is the first time I've had a true female teammate with me there, pushing me every day, and it's definitely brought my game to the next level, and it's just really special to race together and to share the experience instead of always being out there by yourself. So yeah, it's been fabulous, and I think it's taking the whole program to a new level, for sure.
Any other questions from the floor? Okay, well, thank you, ladies. If I may ask you, we're going to switch it up with the men and continue the second portion with our gentlemen.